Okay, guys. Well, this is actually the first run since I've gotten this Logan lathe back out and up and running again. There's still a lot of work to do to it, but I thought I'd show you a little clip. Now, this is actually the last clip that I shot today of doing this little production run, or the beginning of this little production run. So we're running here, and it's running about as smooth as it's going to run right now. Now, the machine's not bolted down, so you see it jump and jerk around every time I operate the hand lever. And it's still kind of stiff. Now I've got a couple other clips and one where I kind of was using as an intro with this, and I'll put it last actually. But it shows the machine being really sticky and nothing operating exactly the way it should. But it explains this a little bit from a little bit different view. So things that are not quite right on this, like I say, next time you see it, it'll be bolted down. I wanted to make sure I got it set where it's actually going to reside for the near future. So we see it running around now. Now I've gotten the tailstock lubed up, so the turret's actually operating pretty smoothly. Doesn't look like it with the machine jumping like that, but it actually is. The other clips show it being quite a bit stickier and not moving quite as well as it should. Things I'm going to change, and I explained in the other clip, is this Noga cool is going to go away. We'll do a better mist coolant on here. I've got stuff for that. I've got a chip shield that I've built for the back that's not quite done yet. There's lots of things that still need to be finished out on this machine, but right now it's making pretty decent parts. I'm pretty happy with what I've got. These are going to be the overarm locks for primarily the Atlas mill. It's also used on the Atlas lathe tailstock, and there's a couple other applications that they use this lock on. So these are the beginnings of it. These are the first roughed out components. So we'll see them being machined as time goes on, but I still got quite a bit more to do with this. Now I don't have the bar support and the bar feeder. I'm just getting started on the bar feeder for this, but I need a bar support. I'm primarily going to run 6-foot lengths of this material. Most of the material that runs through comes in 12-foot lengths, and when I order it from my local supplier, I normally will just have them cut it in half. So I'm actually operating with 6-foot lengths, and I'm perfectly happy. That's just about right for this machine, I think, although if I had enough space and was so inclined, I could run the full 12-foot length, but it'll primarily be 6-footers. And anyway, so I've got to work on the bar supports. Now this one I've already run it enough and done some test cuts as I was setting it up, so I only had about a 4.5-foot length of it left that I was running through, so I didn't really need the bar support. It doesn't get to whipping around very much out there on the end, so it's pretty stable and I can run it this way. But anyway, this is just a little parts run. This is my custom built rear tool post, and I've shot video of this. I don't think I've edited and put out very much on this little lathe at all yet. It's in the archives, and I'll release these. It's going to be out of sequence, but that's the information is the same no matter what. I wanted to get this up and running and get it to producing parts. This is a front tool post that I've had on this machine, and this machine's been kind of archived away for several years now, so it's just now getting back up and put in position. For the chamfer tool, I just took a appropriate carbide insert that I had. This is a little shop built tool holder. I just set it up and pocketed it out on the mill, and now it works real good. Now I'm going to build more tool posts and things for this as time goes on. I set this up primarily because I knew I was running this through aluminum stock, and it's going to work well for that. I've got some steel components that are going to get run on this machine, and I will probably set up another rear tool post with a little bit different style cutter, but I'm going to, this one's running real well. I'm going to leave these tool posts and this tooling set up strictly for running aluminum parts like this, and try and make it a little bit easier to change them around. Now, these are a really simple part. Down the road, part of these will get pocketed out on the bottom for the square-headed bolt that goes on there. But that's kind of what we got for now. This was the first little clip I shot from this directly overhead view on this, and you can see the turret's quite a bit stickier and not working as well. I'm all in all, I'm really happy with the machine so far, and I'm going to continue to run quite a few parts out on this. Be quite a few more improvements as time goes on, and we'll run this. Like I say, I want to get the bar feeder set up for it. And this is kind of a pet project. This machine's got a little bit more capability than the Lathe turret lathe, although I'll be running parts out on it too. But I just kind of enjoy all these little machines. I've got one stripped out nut on the top of this turret post. So, and as I continue building these parts, now there'll be another station that's set up because one end will be pocketed out on part of these machines to accept a square-headed bolt that runs through the runs up through these to the lock arms on the top of like the milling machine spindle and that type of thing. And they're a square-headed bolt that goes through there. So we'll pocket out part of those for that. Part of them will be left just like this as a spacer. The majority of them get a bevel on both sides on one end, on the upper end actually. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Once I'm done with all these parts, why they'll go into the tumbler, and we'll tumble these for a tumbled finish on them, just to smooth them out a little bit and make them a little more presentable all the way around. That's the way I've normally done them. So won't be too long. We'll have them on the website. Next operation on all of these parts is I'll have to deburr the upper end. The hole on the upper end will need to be deburred, and then they can go on to next operation. So whether that's pocketing out the bottoms on part of them, and then all of them will get beveled, and then they'll be ready to go other than to tumble them. So that's kind of where we're at with this. I'm going to go ahead and throw the other clip in there, the original clip that I shot, the first one, and I've rambled on a little bit, but it gives you a little bit better view of the whole machine. All right, well, we're finally ready, I think, to start running some parts on this little Logan lathe. So I still got a lot of work to do to it. I've got a shield set up for the backsplash on it. I just cut that out and I've initially fitted it. It's still going to take some work. I've got quite a bit more to do, one more bend to do on it. It'd like to be painted up, but I'm going to wait until I get the I'm going to hang a few things off of this metal backstop, so I might as well do any welding or bolting I'm going to do to it before I paint it. So we'll get to that eventually. But anyway, this is just the crux of it. I've got the castings for my outboard support for my stock. I don't know that we've got that in the frame, but it's clear out the end. I've got about 5 feet still sticking out there. Stock I run probably about 4 feet, I guess. Stock I run is going to be 6 foot lengths. Is about the maximum I'm going to run off of this, because most of the bar stock that I get will be in 12-foot lengths. So I just have them cut it right there at the steel yard. It's easier for me to handle, and it's a good size to run through here without taking up too much space. So I've still got a little bit of adjustments to do on this. I've got one post that I've got a stripped out nut on for. I've got to fix it up there, and all of this stuff will get tuned. But this is the first run for some overarm locks for on the mill, and use them on the tailstocks of the lathe, things like that. So all I'm doing here is I'm drilling all the way through, and then parting them off, cutting a bevel on the edges and stuff. So they've still got subsequent machining operations to do, but I've got it set up. This is a fairly quick and easy process for this machine. So I'm just getting back in the tune of things. I've got a little Noga cool. I'm adjusting for coolant on it. It's not going to stay here permanently. We'll do a different coolant system for on here. Baking tray works real nice underneath the pan, catches most of the chips. And that's kind of where we're at with this little machine. I'll be working on the bar feeder in the near future. This is my rear cut-off tool post that I built. I don't know if I've released a video on doing that yet or not, but little simple machining operations. Custom tool holder here just for a carbide insert I had for bevels in between. And we'll just run a few. I thought you might be a little bit interested. So let me fire up the phase converter here. And that's running. The original project, when I bought this machine, the first project I turned out was these little hammer spurs that fit a Thompson Center Contender. And I built a bunch of these, and this run of stuff paid for this machine initially. So I'm pretty happy with it. But anyway, a little point of interest. So we're just going to run some parts here, see what we come up with. I think we're set for and we're manually feeding it through here.
to be counterbored on this end, and then the bevel's cut on them, and then this part is basically done, other than I'll tumble them. There'll be a variation to this after I get this first few run through, because they'll get counterbored here with a larger size counterbore, then they go to the mill to have the square finish milled out. Well, that gives you an idea of how well it works. Cycle time on that last one was about 1 minute and 25 seconds. And of course, it'll take me another 30 seconds to find the one that dropped on the floor here. Not quite that long. But anyway, that's the way they come out. And that's first operation. So I have fun playing with this. We'll get around and do the bar feeder for it and the feed stock and everything, but there's half dozen of them, 6 of them in whatever few minutes it's taken to do this video. Got it pretty well dialed in for where it's going to be for this operation. I'll do a little more tuning on the countersink maybe, but all in all, I'm pretty happy with that. So anyway, that's what I've got. Let me wipe my hands off and we'll look at this lathe a little bit closer here. The things that are going to change is the Noga cool is going to come off. I'll put a different mist system on it. Will work fine. Tooling needs to be optimized a little bit. This countersink here, to spot it and face the end on the first operation after it's set to length, needs to be adjusted a little bit. Fresh 1/4 inch drill bit here, I could make some modifications to that and improve that a little bit. But anyway, this is what we got here. Let me see if I can get this down and we'll take a look. Yeah, it's awful tight in here, but anyway, tailstock end. There's my little cookie sheet underneath to catch most of the stuff. There's the headstock, and here's our feeder at the end. Coolant right there. Like I said, it's just running underneath there with the cool mist system. And the bar feeder assembly all hooked back in here. So we'll delve into that when we get that far. I can get away with this long a stock still running unsupported out of the headstock because it's 5/8 diameter stuff. So, but there's my little backsplash to start with for the moment. And it'll get some modifications. I just temporarily bolted it on here. Probably have to gusset the ends a little bit. The bottom lip's going to get turned down so it sets in, and a couple more bolts to bolt to the support to hold it a little bit tighter. It's the way it's sitting right now. It vibrates a little bit, not as secure as it could be, but we'll make that better. There's our little rear tool post, and then just for a bevel tool holder here on this side, we just got a hand-cut tool holder for it. So that's what we got. So thought you might find it a little bit interesting just to see it run. So comment suggestions, leave them in the comment section for me below. And as always, thanks for taking the time to watch.